And we're live. Hi everyone. Hi, I'm Christian with Cryptic Hybrid, and well, welcome to today's super special Saturday. Oh, see that's how it works. It's super, and you put super in front of Saturday, and it works. It's a super special Saturday live stream where we're going to talk to Jasmine from Luminosity Mobile. Hi.
Hello.
Hello. We've been talking. Sorry everyone for the small delay, but we've been talking about women in gaming, and we pretty much have come to a consensus that every developer has to have a quota, at least 51% women, and if there's a team of only one person, they have to be a hermaphrodite. That aside, let's talk about the actual reason why we're here. The Painter's Apprentice. So, it's a game. You can see it right here. I'm going to play, and I'll just let Jasmine talk, cause she's been doing this for a while now. So, Jasmine, hi. Tell me about a little bit about yourself, about Luminosity Mobile, and then, well, about the kitten I'm playing.
Sure. So, how's it going, guys? Hope women exist. Yes. Hope everyone is doing well. So, I'm the president of Luminosity Mobile. I'm also the level designer of the Painter's Apprentice. So, Luminosity Mobile formed, I would say, about 2 years ago. So, 2014. It was myself and the vice president, who's also the sound engineer of the game. We actually worked together at a former game company, another indie development studio, and that closed, and we're like, hey, we still like working together, we like making games, so let's start a new company. So we did. And then to get the rights from our old game, which is Once Upon a Runner, and then this is our second game, The Painter's Apprentice. We've worked on some game jams, but this is our second full game. So I don't know if you guys have played or watched the last stream, but if not, The Painter's Apprentice is an action platformer game. You play as an apprentice painter who finds himself inside of these paintings mysteriously. And in order to get out, you battle against sentient paint blobs as you also travel through 8 different art styles. So it's really great for people who enjoy art, and also great for people who maybe don't know that much about different art styles. We give very brief descriptions of them as you kind of scroll through the level select menus, and we're also adding some new features in there just to kind of have a little bit of an art history feel.
Well, so basically we can stop the interview right here, because like that's it. That's the summary of everything. It's perfect. No, but it's okay. Let's.
I've worked on this pitch a lot.
That's a really good pitch. So, the Painter's Apprentice, you can see it in front of you. Why is the mouse in? Oh, the cursor is fine. You can see it right here. It's a 2D side-scrolling platformer, action platformer, yeah. And it's how long has it been in development right now?
We have been working on it for about 2 years now. So, yeah, I mean, 24, yeah, has it been 2 years? Dang. Yeah, like probably towards the end of 2014, we started working on it, mainly just the artwork. And then probably beginning of last year is when we really started digging into the programming and coding and level design.
I guess I'll have to go back to a little bit about the studio, because this puzzled me the first time I got in contact. Luminosity Mobile, does that mean that you were focused, or you were going to focus on mobile games initially, and you expanded later on? Why the mobile in the name?
Mobile has a lot, right now mobile is smartphones
Huge.
and tablets, things like that, right? But in our mind, mobile means a lot of things, right? So mobile just generally means you can move it. So laptops are mobile, Nintendo DS, those are mobile. I mean, all of
The
those
Switch?
things are mobile, right? The Switch. So I think we kind of wanted to have this idea where it's not just about smartphones and tablets. It's about being able to do things while you're on the go, doing it wherever you want.
So why Luminosity then?
So Luminosity, we worked on the name a lot. We were trying to figure out a good a nice name that would kind of evoke this image of lightness and brightness. The idea with Luminosity was that we wanted to kind of shine some light into people's lives, give them something, you know, for X amount of time during their day, they can have some fun or not have to, you know, make somebody's life easier or this or that. So
it's
although,
not about the Illuminati?
you know, later on down the line, we were like, oh yeah, there's a Luminosity or Lumosity. I'm like, oh, well, we already incorporated it, so it's a little late. It's a little late now.
Yeah, they're copycats, right? I mean, they
yeah,
copied
exactly.
you.
I mean,
So
they went to the future, saw us, and went back to the past and named it Lumosity. I mean, you can never trust those time travelers.
No, but that actually happened, like, definitely. No, but it's no, that definitely happened. Why? It's true. So in Painter's Apprentice, as you said, you play. Well, it's in the freaking name, a painter's apprentice, and he finds himself in some paintings. The thing that I've took like a big, it was like a big debate within my head when I first played it and I saw the story. So the painter, your master, I would say, the master painter that you're trying to learn from, he's the one who's pushing you in the freaking paintings. So he's trapping you in the paintings. Why? How did that happen? I thought that they were supposed to teach you, like, show, oh, this, like wax on, wax off. Like, how did that happen? How did you get from, you know, teaching someone how to paint to pushing them into monochrome pieces of plywood?
Well, you'll see if you know, when you read the story, you'll see that the kid is kind of, oh, I'm just gonna go ahead and try and fix this. He wasn't necessarily. So I actually have a little story describing. Let me see if I can find it. The painter, or the apprentice, rather. So he's been working with. Story? Yeah, he's been working with the apprentice, the master painter, for about 3 years. Hasn't really even gotten to painting at all. Just kind of running these errands and doing like small things for him. So he feels like this is his chance to prove himself when he sees that there's something wrong. And then maybe there was a reason why the master painter didn't want him doing stuff. So he goes in, sees that there's something wrong, picks up the master's favorite paintbrush, and then starts painting in, but then realizes that there's something wrong. And so once the master painter sees that, he's like, all right, oh, I see that you've already started something. Well, let's see if you're ready. So there's that myth where or I don't even know if it's true or not, where lions, drop their cubs off a cliff or whatever and have them survive on their own. Yeah, I don't know if that's true or not. I've heard it a couple times, mostly in anime. So I wouldn't trust those sources, but let me put this. Where am I gonna put this?
Wow,
just
people
put it
in
the
anime
chat?
really don't like lion cubs. I mean, really. I mean, how would you know? They're cruel enough. You don't have to invent new stuff for lions. So the thing with lions, like males are, would kill the youngs of other males, the cubs of other males, and that's pretty horrific. But their own, Jesus.
Yeah, I think it's a total myth, but I've definitely heard it. Outside of anime too, people are like, oh yeah, they totally do that. I'm like, I'm pretty sure they don't, but whatever. Let's go with that.
Those people have never watched Animal Planet ever.
So it's kind of
this
idea where you are, kind of see that your apprentice might be ready to take the next steps, and also kind of learn. So there's obviously a mystery and secret going on. It's like, how exactly did he get inside these paintings? Why is he falling? This shouldn't happen, right? Mm-hmm. So what is actually going on here? So there's like a nice little story there that'll take you through it. Try to keep it light. And there's also we're gonna have a nice bonus ending too. So once you unlock,
painter, like you're going to kill your master, because it sounds like a very Sith myth, like, oh, the apprentice wants to become better than the master, so basically you have to kill him, like, just. But in this case, no, he was messing around with his paintings. Okay, that's kind of a wuss move, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be. So I was actually showing this off at a convention this weekend, and some woman who was playing it, she was like, "Oh my god, this is the worst boss ever." She's like, I can't wait to finish this game so I can quit this job."
All right, is that a compliment? Because I'm really not sure.
I don't know. No, she liked it. I mean, she played
Okay.
all the way through the entire demo. So.
Which demo, by the way, you can get right now. There's a link in the description below. If you haven't played it, there are like a lot of levels in the demo. It's actually Luminosity was very, very, very generous with the amount of content in the demo. In terms of a lot of levels. I think there's at least 10, maybe something like that. A lot of levels. Anyway.
Yeah, I think there's. I mean, it's all the world, so it'll take you through all the different art styles. So you can really get, kind of see how different they are and how they play. Do I know Cali Caves dev personally? What do you mean by personally?
Like
we're more
real life.
we're more of like online. So we tweet a lot. We kind of support each other online a lot. We really liked his game, so Cali's Caves, obviously, we really enjoyed it, and we just kind of got in touch from there and chatted, and that's pretty much it. So we really try to support each other.
And
I'm a big fan of Cali's.
I heard of Luminosity from Cali's Caves retweet.
Oh, you did?
And I,
Oh, nice.
yeah, because I don't know, maybe you don't remember, but I came on a live stream.
Yes, you've actually come out on a lot of live streams, surprisingly.
Quite a few. It's very late at night, I know, but it's. Do you want to mention those? For people interested in seeing some game dev.
Yeah. So I actually do a Twitch stream, Saturdays, which is today at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So for a lot people who are out in Europe, it can be pretty late. But I would say the first 4 Saturdays, or the first 3 Saturdays, that's game development, and then the last Saturday is we do a game stream. So we try to do platformers, but sometimes I just play WoW. So if you like World of Warcraft, sometimes I stream that. This past Halloween, we actually did a horror stream on Halloween. I can't put it in there. If you just do Twitch TV and just it's Luminosity Mobile. But yeah, we did Typing of the Dead, which was a lot of fun.
You can see from the name, Typing of the Dead. That's. I mean, how many games are there like with Of the Dead in them? Like really? Like how many of them?
Well, so this is based off of the old game, which is oh man, what was it called? Night of the Dead or something like that. But it was an old I think it's an old arcade game. But in this one, instead of using a controller or your mouse, you type out words that appear above the zombies and stuff. So it was a lot of fun. Panicked partway through. I was like, oh no, my hands are cramping up. I'm typing too much. The House of the Dead. That's what it is.
Okay.
That's what it's based on. What's that?
No, I was just thinking that House of the Dead. I just totally blanked out on that game. I totally forgot there was like a House of the Dead too. Jeez. Okay, going back to the Painter's Apprentice a little bit. So you have the Painter, the Apprentice. You control the Apprentice. Will the Painter, your master, will he have any more or less active role throughout the game? Or will you just see him at the end, we're going to punch him in the face?
So he'll appear a little bit throughout, mostly as like a little hint system. So there'll be little avatars of him that you can run over, and then he'll be like, he'll give you useful tips. So he won't necessarily be in the world with you, but he'll kind of be there in the safety of his studio while you do the dirty work.
Of course, because it's like, the youngling should.
That's how that's how bosses are.
Wait.
Yeah,
Oh, bosses
do it.
like I was thinking like game boss. I was thinking, what? You would fight him? Oh no, bosses as in real life boss. Got it. So let's talk about a little bit about the worlds. You said that you're going to take the player through multiple styles. So can you tell me which style will they see,
Yeah.
and how did you choose them specifically? Like, is it like preference? Did you get like a big book of painters and research?
So, yeah, so there's 8 different worlds. Each of the different world is based on a different art style. So, I don't have the live stream going on right now. I'm not sure what world you're in. It looks like you're in world 2.
Yep. Yes.
Okay. And world 2 is Impressionism. So, world 1 was Painterly. I've talked to a couple artists and they're like, that's kind of, but I kind of like the idea of starting off with something that was broad, that kind of that's going to encapsulate most of the art styles that we're going to have later on. So Painterly is, versus realism, right? So Painterly is all about embracing the kind of medium that you're using. If it's oil on canvas, you'll see the brush strokes. If it's watercolor, it's not gonna look perfect, picture perfect. And then we have Impressionism, which is world 2. I still don't know how to pronounce this. Fauvism, which is world 3. World 4 is Cubism. World 5 is Surrealism. World 6 is Naive art, which is, I would say
Modern
that's
art?
more. What's that? No,
Modern
not modern art. It's more about.
Yeah.
It used to be used for people who didn't have any professional training in the arts, but then a lot of professional people started picking it up. There are certain areas, certain themes of it that can be considered naive, that made it into naive art. So it's kind of like about patterns. There's not, you don't have this sense of perspective as much in other paintings. So it's supposed to look childish, but professionals still do that art
Still
style.
make it.
Right.
So
So,
you can be a professional in pictures, in paintings that look like child's art.
kind
That's
of.
a thing.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Kind of.
Poor children. I mean, the adults are going like, no, I can paint as crappy as you. Oh, Jesus.
World 7 is pop art, and then World 8 is neo-expressionism. So we kind of chose these. We wanted to go a little bit in chronological order. We wanted to introduce some new styles to people. So I'm sure most people have heard of Impressionism and Cubism, Surrealism, maybe, pop art. But then, there's Painterly, there's Fauvism, which is kind of a lesser known one just because Fauvism was a super short movement. And then Neo-Expressionism, not too many people have heard of. So we kind of wanted to mix those in there. And we also, when I was looking different art styles up, I thought those ones would be the most interesting to kind of build on. So as you play the game, you start off with generally fairly normal looking levels. Everything makes sense. And then as you go to like Cubism, like once you hit Fauvism, everything, like the colors get all crazy. And then you just go from there. So it was an interesting, kind of a nice switch. And then Cubism gets crazier, and then 5 is Surrealism. So things get interesting in terms of the overall design.
As you evolve in timeline, you devolve in terms of the actual meaning of the art. It's weird and weird, basically.
Yeah.
That's my professional opinion. Like, how does this look? Oh, it's crap. I don't know.
Although later on we might add some, so someone was like, "Oh, do you have minimalism? Like that would be funny." Just
DLC,
some
future possibly
flash
DLC?
of color. Yeah, maybe. I mean, there's a lot of art styles out there, so we can definitely have a ton of, content.
So when you after you research all this and you decide on them, did you do all the artwork for like the backgrounds and everything for the levels?
No, so we had a background artist. Her name was Grace, and so she did. So I gave her, here's the art styles, here's some examples that you can pull off of from these art styles, and then I was always a little wavering when I first started whether I wanted it to look exactly like those art styles. But instead I decided let's go towards, let's keep it a little cartoony still, because that's the overall style of The Apprentice and the Master Painter. So I kind of wanted to still wanted to keep it consistent while showing off different art styles, which was it was a challenge for some of the levels, but I think we eventually got it. But because it's a master painter who's painting these, so it wouldn't make sense to have them look like what they look in our world.
So after you had the artwork and everything, did the style of of the world influence in terms of the level design and the elements that you put in there, like the gameplay, the platforms, the traps, the obstacles?
I mean, I wouldn't say like the tiles. I mean, obviously we made the tiles look like the background as much as we could, but the level design definitely. So we actually wanted to have all of the levels for each of the different worlds to kind of work into the themes of these art styles. So in World 1, since it's about embracing the medium that you're working on, since this is a platformer, we wanted it to feel like a very traditional platformer, jumping around, and then it's also fairly linear. You know where to go from point one to point A to point B. And so we wanted to do that for each of the different worlds too. So when you play, the levels will all play a little differently. Maybe you'll see more, maybe there's more branching paths, maybe there's more dead ends, or it's more meandering, things like that. So we kind of wanted to have this ability for you to really feel like, it's not just a background for the art styles, it's also the levels. The music too that you'll hear for the backgrounds are all based on when these art styles were popularized.
Oh, yeah, because I know you work with a composer for all of this, and are you thinking of releasing the soundtrack of the game like separately, or maybe include it in some kind of way?
Yeah, we're gonna have it so that people can download it. So yeah, it'll be there. So it's a total of 8 different songs for the 8 different worlds, and then we also have boss fight music, so it's like 16, I would say. They're not too long. I would say they're about like a minute to 2 minutes. But yeah,
definitely not repetitive. I mean,
what's that?
After playing, they're definitely not repetitive. After playing, you don't notice. You don't notice that it's just 1 minute or anything. It's actually really nice work on the. It's really soothing. It's like I'm just killed. I just died, and I don't like. I'm okay. I'm fine with that. I'm fine. I'm like an artist on I don't know, like cannabis or something. It's fine. It's good. It gets me to that level. So speaking of like dying and killing and everything, so your painter has a big paintbrush, and that's how he fights the enemies, which are paint monsters. Can I call them paint monsters?
Yeah, paint blobs, paint monsters.
Well, some of them look more like they're more specific. They have an actual shape. Like that guy kind of looks like a roadrunner. So, and you also mentioned upgrades in that the game has upgrades. How those work within? Do you have to get something in order to unlock certain upgrades? Is it because there's no coins? So how do upgrades work? How do you become better at killing blobs?
Yeah, so we initially had a store, which we decided, let's get rid of that because it got a little confusing. It used to be, you'd collect the paint tubes that would work as currency. And then, but then we're like, we changed it where you lose paint tubes when you run into enemies. We're like, well, it doesn't make sense. If you're losing paint tubes, you're losing currency. So instead, we went with a perk system where in each of the worlds, you'll have 3 different paintings that you can collect. Once you collect all 3, you can then unlock a perk, which will be, more health, stronger attack, faster run speed. Maybe you need less paint tubes to pull off your range attack or other attacks. So we're working on, implementing that. Right now we do. Right.
Yeah. No, tell me, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, will that be predetermined, the upgrades, or will you be able to maybe choose between a couple, every time you get the ability to unlock one, or it'll be like, oh,
right now
yeah.
Right now it's predetermined. So, World 1 you'll get an extra heart. World 2 maybe it'll be more attack. But I do like the idea where you can maybe choose one, out of 3. I don't think that should be too hard to implement, because then at least you get a choice on what you want to upgrade.
Yeah, maybe it will, fit. It will allow people to customize their playstyle even more. Some people may be, more defensive, more. Some people like to shoot the blobs from really, really far away. I'm not saying who, not me, because I'm kidding. Yes, I usually like to kick their ass from afar. If I can stay away from them, that's perfectly. So yeah, upgrades like that would be nice.
Some of them, you kind of need to stay away from and use your paintball. Other ones, it makes more sense to get up close. So it's all about which enemies are you facing.
And speaking of enemies, tell me a little bit about the bosses, because people who've watched the stream have already seen a couple. Like, what are they? There's one boss per world. Okay.
Yep. So there's one boss per world.
Yeah. And they
and then
designing them, and will they each have their own mechanic? To kill them, you have to do specific things, like, because they were pretty straightforward, the boss battles that are in the demo, and I'm thinking, will there be even more complex, even bigger blobs further out?
Yep, there will be. So the first couple bosses, we have it where they're kind of introducing a new enemy mechanic to you. So, instead of having new enemies thrust upon you once you get to a new world, we're like, all right, let's think of these bosses as kind of an introduction where you can have it in a closed environment. And then later on, when you get to the next world, you'll kind of see and understand, oh, hey, this guy moves similar to the previous boss, or you won't be surprised when all of a sudden, so like the World 2 boss, he shoots paintballs at you. So World 3, we now have an enemy that will do that. So it's kind of slowly introducing these concepts to you, so that once you go to the next worlds and meet these new enemies, you won't be totally surprised by them. Later on, we will have different mechanics and different bosses. So some of them, I think we have one that's a storm cloud that will, zap you with lightning, or drop rain on you, little blobs. We have another boss that, let me see, it's been so long since I've looked at them. But yeah, you have
beat all of them, so yeah, like.
Let me see here. We've actually only finished up to World 3, so yeah. So there's another one that throws bombs at you, that you need to worry about.
Let me guess, paint bombs?
Yes, there are paint bombs. So, but yeah, and then there's another one that will, stretch its arms across the map to kind of get to you. So those ones aren't necessarily going to introduce new enemies to you. It's just mainly about mechanics. So once you get past like the first 3 or so worlds and the bosses after that are generally different than the enemies you'll face. I mean, there'll still be some. So like the storm cloud, he floats around and stuff. So once we introduce that, the next world will have these, they'll be flying enemies. So we try to keep it a little.
That sounds good.
Yeah, we try to keep it a little related, but even still, it won't be totally related.
Just partially, like mostly related. Okay, that's
yeah.
Good. Like playing the demo, I kind of feel like you're maybe going for a more casual crowd for the Painted Apprentice. Is that assumption correct, or are you saying like, no, you're talking bullcrap?
I mean, I would say that it's not necessarily the super casual crowd, but I would say, people who don't want to play like a super Meat Boy.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't like once you get further on in the world, they do get a lot harder. So we just want to make sure that we have that difficulty progression spot on, so that once World 2, we introduce the paintball. So throughout World 2, we'll have these different enemies that you really need to use a paintball for, and then as you progress, we'll introduce these other skills to you too. So you have this whole world to kind of master these skills, and when should I use this, and does it make sense, and how many paint tubes exactly do I need? So it's the first couple worlds will kind of be like this exploratory, learning the mechanics and getting comfortable with it, and then once you get into like World 4 and 5 and later on, it does get harder. So I think that's that's kind of the key here, is we want to have a good balance so that you're not suddenly freaked out by how difficult it is once you get past World 1. Although that still happens, but I mean the demo version's a little different.
So pretty much you're saying that you play the demo, you're fine, then you're going to get punished in the full game.
Well, I would say the demo is almost more punishing than playing the game completely, because you're kind of skipping all of these in-between levels that kind of help you work through the mechanics. So, you're going from World 1, all of a sudden you're in World 2, which is much harder than World 1, 2, and then so on. You're like, oh, geez. So it seems like the balance is off, but it should be fine.
And it will be 10 levels per world, right?
Yes.
Any bonus levels?
There will be bonus levels. Yep. So we have a star system, and then you get the stars based on how you complete the level. So one of them is beating it in under a certain amount of time. Another one is beating it without dying, and then another one is defeating all the enemies. And then the last one, which we actually just added, is if you can do all that in a single run through. So once you collect enough stars, you'll be able to unlock these bonus levels. We're actually going to be working with some small artists, so I guess you could call them indie artists. Looking around for people whose style we like, who would match the tiles that we have, and then kind of building the levels with their artwork as a background, and then having a little avatar of them that introduces like, hey, I'm so and so, here's my artwork, here's my portfolio, check it out if you like it. So kind of a promotional thing for them, that also introducing new artists to people who are playing the game.
So that'll be the incentive, right, to get the higher score. Will there be any types of leaderboards, anything like that?
Probably. So we haven't. We've definitely looked into achievements. I think leaderboards would be a lot of fun. I know that Steam has their own, so we'd have to look into implementation of that. But especially for the speedrunning thing, I think that would be great, just to kind of see, hey, how fast did I do it?
Very cool, because there will be people who will speedrun this, like, the painters like 20 minutes.
Absolutely.
Like, what? 20? Oh,
did you defeat all the enemies? Because that'll be another thing too. Is like, I defeated all the enemies and did it all in 20 minutes.
For like up until 5 minutes ago, when you mention it, I thought that you had to kill all the enemies to get to the end. Like, you wouldn't be able to finish a level without killing all the enemies.
I think that's we need to change that. I have to do that. I have to write it down. I think that's because of the screen that says you need to defeat all the enemies. It used to be like that. We used to have it. We used to have it where you had to defeat all the enemies, and then it really limited our level design. Not only that, but it got tedious for people. They didn't want to go back and have to defeat everything. Some people just wanted to blow through it. So we got rid of that requirement. The only ones you obviously have to defeat are the bosses.
Jeez, that's like having people play like a Metroidvania. Like, do you know what what backtracking actually means? Not going back in the same level and killing one monster that you missed because you went another way. Anyway, that sounds lazy to me, but okay, that's fine, I guess. I guess some people.
Well, and I think for speedrunners too, it's kind of they're not necessarily looking to defeat anything; they just want to get through the level. So I think there's still plenty of places where we have some alternate routes, and they're not necessarily always the easiest routes, but it might take you there faster. So we kind of want to keep these different player types in mind when we're designing these levels too. So it was a lot harder for us when we were doing it, when you had to defeat all the enemies, because you couldn't really have these alternate routes that could take you there faster, because then you couldn't defeat all the enemies.
So you say that there'll be alternative routes. Will there be any that you may not be able to access unless you have, I don't know, a certain upgrade? I'm guessing no on that?
No, you should be able to access all of them. We've added like a couple other... Right, it's do you want to go this way or do you want to go this way? One way might be shorter, but it might be a lot harder. Another way might be longer, but it might be a little easier.
Okay, so...
Or they might both be equally hard, so...
Well, that's not going to be like, oh, I just went to here, I went to here, it's the same, I died 10 times, I died 10 times too. That's fun. That's always fun dying. Actually, you know what I like, because this is, kind of made me think of the casual thing. Every time you die, you start, you start from the beginning of the level, right? But every action you've done is still there, so it saves the progress. So if you damage the boss, then the boss will still be damaged. So why did you choose to do that? Because
well, we're probably going to change the boss damage.
No, because I think it does lower the difficulty, and I just want to know the thought process in that.
Yeah, I mean, initially, again, like we had all of the enemies defeated because you had to defeat all the enemies. So we're kind of like, well, if we're gonna have to defeat all the enemies, it's really gonna get repetitive if you die, and then you have to go and defeat them all again, which is why we had them not come back. Now that we don't have that, we might have them respawn, or it might just be a different difficulty level. So maybe this one would be easy, where they don't come back, and then maybe the normal mode would have them respawn.
Okay, so you are planning on multiple difficulty levels for
yeah.
Ow. Okay. Ow. Sorry, I just died a lot. I was thinking, how did I die there? Jesus, seriously. You put a demo out. You've had a Kickstarter, which is now over, so we can talk about it a little bit. It was successful, right? It was close, but it's successful, so that's the important part. It's like, focus on that.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit of how that went. That because Kickstarters are pretty crazy. So what feedback you got? What how hard it was for you, as an indie developer to go on Kickstarter and have a successful campaign.
I mean, Kickstarter, I feel like even now more so that it's become such a huge platform and people have taken advantage of the platform. It's gotten a lot harder, I think, to have a successfully funded Kickstarter if you don't have an audience, and for an indie developer like me, without name recognition. So a lot of it was, even beforehand, kind of hyping it up, getting involved in Facebook game groups, having better...
Going to conventions.
Going to events, going to those, and building up my mailing list. So it was always I actually knew. So I had talked about this with the vice president I would say about 6 months ago, like, hey, why don't we do a Kickstarter? So we're like, all right. So this was really like 6 months that we were thinking about it and working on it and kind of playing the long game, really. So once we actually did it, that's when the pressure is really on. So, sending out the newsletters, tweeting it out, all that good stuff. And then really, I think what I did was went through literally all my email contacts, alphabetically, AA, AB, AC, individually emailing people and being like, hey, I haven't talked to you in like years. How's it going? How is everything? Here's what I'm doing. Like, would you mind pledging? Yeah. And surprisingly, I mean, people who I would not have expected to were like, yeah, the game looks awesome. Here you go. So you never know who will be the one to pledge. And then, I went through my Facebook contacts too. The VP did the same. So, it was really about individually reaching out to people. Kind of making that connection, because I think when you CC or BCC or even send out the newsletter, it's not very personal. So you kind of want to have that personal connection, even if it is, saying like, hey, Brian, how's it going? I heard you had a new kid. Congrats. Something like that. Kind of shows that you care.
Congratulations on your little boy. It's a girl. Oh, it's fine. I have a great game right now.
Congrats on the... Yeah, baby. No, you just keep it neutral, Hey, congrats on the baby.
Yeah. Like what gender? No. You can't. Actually, you can't gender babies right now, because that's like patriarchy or something. So you can't say it. You can't say it. They'll decide for themselves when they're like 2 years old. So it's fine. It's fine. This is 2016. It's fine. We're good. So that I'm guessing that was a lot of work, trying to reach, kind of one person at a time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it took time.
What was the response you got from going to events, conventions, stuff like that? Like, can you give a few examples of where you went?
Yep. So this past weekend, I went to an event called GamerX. They're GamerX East. They're out in I think they started out on the West Coast, and this is the first year on the East Coast. So that was pretty cool. I've been to MagFest, which is out in Baltimore. It's a music and gaming festival. And we actually got accepted to PAX South to showcase at their Indie Rising booth, which is really exciting. So that'll be like our first really big convention. So
Indie
the response
Rising,
in general...
like a movie. Indie Rising.
Dark Knight Rising.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not the indie game developer you deserve, but I'm the one you need. But yeah, so Indie Rising is basically, or PAX Rising is basically, so they have this in, I don't remember when they exactly started it, but they have it out in PAX Prime and PAX East, and I think they have it in PAX Australia too. But basically they choose indie developers from that region who have some cool games, basically. And it kind of featured, they give you the booth. I mean, it's small, it's like a pod. And then they put the artwork there, and then, it's kind of a cool honor to be chosen like that. So yeah, we're pretty excited. We were able to do it. So PAX South is in Texas. So my VP is actually out in Texas. So that's why we were, hey, here's an part of an indie developer team who's out in Texas. So PAX South actually just started. I want to say
you just hiring
2 years
people,
ago.
Where do you live in Minnesota? There's a convention there.
Where do you live?
He's our
Bring him
executive
on.
producer of yeah, exactly. Like,
what's he gonna do? He's gonna go to the conventions. That's what he's gonna do.
Exactly, and he'll know everyone
because
there.
our team is actually spread out. So I'm in New York, so I go to things like Boston, whatever's in New York, Maryland. Ray's out in Texas. He's the VP. So there's obviously PAX South. There's South by Southwest. There's a couple other small. There's like a comic convention down there. I have somebody down in Florida, and he actually went to Orlando IX in October. And then we brought on a new artist who is in Ohio. So there's a lot out there. So good. And then we actually have another teammate who's in Romania, and his name is Christian, which is a funny thing.
The right? Small world.
Yeah.
Everybody takes my name. That's really annoying. That pisses me off. That pissed me off when I was in school. There were always 2 other children that had the same name as me. Like, bugger off. I'm one. Sorry.
I mean, I just found it funny that he was also in Romania. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then we have another one who's out in...
With the same guy, that's the thing.
Oh, that's it. It's true, I've never heard his voice, so you might be. But and then we have another one in the Ukraine. What the hell is that? I don't know.
So you're really international when it comes to location. So going to this convention, what was the response you got for the Painter's Apprentice? Like what?
The response has been really positive. Yeah, they. As far as I know, they really like it. They like the artwork. They like the idea. Even they like the level design. There's always some. We've been showing this off for 2 years, so the game has changed a lot since that time period. Like tiles have changed, the UI has changed, so the way things work changes. So all of that was based on kind of player feedback. They didn't like some things, and if enough people said they didn't like it, they're like, all right, maybe we should change it. So now that we've gotten to this point, besides like a couple bugs we found, most people are generally pretty positive about the way the game is going. People who have played it before, maybe like a year or two ago, are surprised and happy about the progress we've made and the changes we've made. So it's been pretty great, and I think our growing list of email subscribers is testament to that as well.
Nice. So you pretty much, well, you put the demo out, when you launched the Kickstarter. Was that like a must for you as an individual developer? Did you feel like you had to have a demo to showcase that you have something, that you're not you just don't have a few artwork and that's it, given the stuff that's been happening with Kickstarter sometimes? Yeah, I mean, we definitely wanted to show that we do have a game, but it was also to get feedback too. So people are a lot more, they're a lot braver, I guess. I don't know. Oh yeah, open. More willing to open their pockets when they see a demo. Yeah. Well, no, not open, but about giving feedback too. So, they're more willing to, maybe say some potentially negative things when, or critical things when you're not there right in front of them, like staring them down. So, I was also hoping a little for that as well. So we got some feedback on it. Most people were still pretty positive, which is always good. I mean, we also put it on Steam, and some of the comments were about the art, and for me, I was like, it's a little too late to change the art at this point. So yeah, Steam can be really tough. That's a tough crowd, and just so everyone knows, the Painter's Apprentice is still on Greenlight, so it still needs votes. You can check out the link in the description below and go there if you want to support it. You just have to click on the yes button, because those are the votes that count. Apparently, Valve doesn't give a crap about about the no votes. They just want yes votes. So if you want to see the Painter's Apprentice on Steam, please give a vote yes on their Greenlight page, which is again still up. Link in the description. So yeah, it's a tough crowd on Greenlight. You can see it's like they're pretty much they're really critical. Let's say that they're really critical of what games. Probably not Painter's Apprentice, but I've seen some horror stories. It's like which is I guess can be, you know, pretty discerning for, you know, for someone to hear or read, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also there's, you know, there's so many games on Steam Greenlight now, and it's gotten to, especially with platformers too. I feel like, you know, people are kind of like another platformer, but I don't know. I mean, I think our game is, not to toot my own horn, but of a lot of the games I've seen even get greenlit, I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm pretty sure my game looks nicer, but
yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair to say. I mean, there's some not so quality work that went into. We're not going to name names right now, but Jesus, some of them, like, how the hell? Anyway, that's something else. Here we only play the good games. Ow! Crap, he killed me. Jesus. Sorry, I just got shot from really far away. I don't like that. I'm supposed to shoot everyone. So yeah, I'm also playing the game, so I have to. Cryptical, is that the term now? Cryptical? That's not a term. That's not a word. We can invent it, Christopher, but it's not a word. So I was just checking check. Let's talk a little bit about the technical side, because I think that's also well, it's often overlooked, I think, unless it's like a AAA title. You're using the Unity engine. Can you tell me, you know, how you got to, you know, using it, and why did you choose it for the Painter's Apprentice?
I mean, it was pretty straightforward. I mean, we used Unity in our previous game, so Once Upon a Runner, so it was something that I was familiar with in terms of, you know, putting everything in there and how it works. And the programmers that we have are familiar with Unity. It was actually a pretty simple decision for us. And it's also free. I mean, it's a 2D game, so we could have used Game Maker, but our programmers didn't know Game Maker language. I'm sure they could have figured it out, but also, you know, you got to pay for the modules, you got to do this and that. So at least with Unity, like, everything is free until you make a ton of money. So that was why we went with it. Obviously, I think the other problem that kind of rears its head when you're using Unity is that there's a lot of bad games made with Unity free. So whenever people see the Unity logo, they're like, oh my god, another Unity game. So it unfortunately has a really negative stigma attached to it, which is unfortunate, because there's a lot of great games made with Unity as well, like Hearthstone. But, you know, because they don't see the logo, they don't know it. So
yeah,
it's
nobody's going to advertise that. Like, Blizzard is not going to say, "Oh, we're using Unity." Like, put the big logo. Yeah, and that is true. Yeah, there are lots of actually really good games, but a lot of them are not advertised. You're not going to see the logo in there, and they're probably not going to talk about it much, which is kind of crap, because, you know, it is a good tool, basically.
Yeah, it's a great engine. I mean, you know, I think a lot of people have this idea that you know, Unreal is better. You know, there's a whole, it's kind of like console wars. It's like, oh, PS4 is better. No, PC Master Race or whatever. So I feel like it's kind of a similar thing that happens with gaming engines. You know, they're like, oh, Unreal is the best, or, you know, CryEngine or whatever, and Unity is crap, or Game Maker is, you know, crap or whatever. It's like, well, they're just engines, man. It's like, you know. And then there's like the elitists who are like, oh, well, you guys suck if you're using an engine. You should just make your own. So I feel like there's a lot of like elitism within like the game development scene as well, which is really unfortunate, because why not use an engine if it's going to make your life easier, and why not use the one that is best for you? It doesn't really matter if you use an engine, if you don't, which one you use, so long as you can utilize it properly.
Speaking of utilizing properly, did you need to make anything custom for the Apprentice Apprentice? Did you need to program anything, get a mechanic in, you know, something that wasn't, you know, available in the package?
I mean, like the shaders that we've done. So when you're the black and white, and then the coloring in, the enemy colors, you know, I think we've got actually a lot of like small custom things in there. You know, we've got we also use tiled for the level design. So importing, having tiled, making it in there, and then having it show up in Unity has made making levels a heck of a lot easier. What about using RPG?
I've seen you doing a level, and that was pretty straightforward. Like of course you have to draw all the art and then design it, but it's in terms of importing. It was like, okay, that's fast. That's really...
Yeah, it's like instantaneous. You make it and then you just go into save it and then you go into Unity and it just like pops up. You're like, oh, this is great. What about using RPG Maker? I've never used RPG Maker. I've always
those look the same. Those look the same. They all look the same. The RPG Maker games, almost all.
Well, I think you can. I mean, I know that they offer like pre-made assets. But you can definitely import assets. But I mean, I've seen some cool RPG, like some cool games made in RPG Maker, and then they're also doing like visual novels in RPG Maker now too.
Yeah, the thing is that a lot of the RPG Maker submissions on Greenlight, they kind of use stock assets, and it's so bad seeing those. It's like, no, again. And of course people will be wary of that when you say the same thing over and over again. Of course, with Unity I don't think that's exactly the case, because there's more assets, more stuff that you can get, you can customize it, I think maybe a little more. So I don't think that the two Unity games that look alike, even if you just start off with Unity. But with RPG Maker, that's... oh, I just drowned. That's just really bad with RPG Maker. That's...
yeah, I mean, Unity is also, it's a 2D, it's a 3D engine, and you can do 2D stuff on it. So there's a ton of, I mean, I've seen some amazing looking games that people have done in Unity. So I think,
exactly, you mentioned.
Yeah. But I think there's, it's unfortunate that there's a stigma attached. I think a lot of it is probably, people cashing in for a quick buck, using assets from the asset store, or using, like for 2D games, using Kenny's assets, which I mean, I love his stuff, and it's, I'm grateful that he offers his sprite work for free, but there are so many games that use his work that, when people see that, they're like, another one of these. So,
okay, so
do I expect good success for this game?
Exactly. I was going to say, yeah. And that if it's your first game, and it's not, but...
Yes, I do expect good success for this game.
Much success, such wow.
I mean, for me, success is determined by, well, one, we got successfully kickstarted, so I think that's a huge success. We're on Steam Greenlight. Once we get Greenlight, I think that's big for us too. And then, obviously PAX South and those things will help move that along. But I mean, it really depends on, what kind of success you're looking at. I'm hoping that people enjoy the game, that they like it enough that they remember our studio, and that they're excited for the next games that we'll release, and they'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna vote that, or I'm gonna get that later on,
Wow, so pretty much the Painter's Apprentice 2 confirmed, and another project, because you said games, so you said plural. So we have Painter's Apprentice 2, so that's finished. It's just like waiting in the pipeline, and then another game, which is quite in the Half-Life 3 confirmed, everyone? No, maybe not.
The first game was Once Upon a Runner. It's for mobile. It's for iOS and Android. It's free to download. We're actually
let's not utter those words here, like PC Master. Remember? Like...
We're actually working on that right now. So we're like redoing it. So probably be done. I don't know. Maybe in like. I don't actually even want to give a date. I'm not sure, but we're working on fixing like a lot of the issues that we had before, because before, when we were doing it, this was before Unity had their own like 2D option, so we had to do like the 2D toolkit and like all this stuff to actually get it to work. So now that we have all of this stuff, we don't need all of these plugins. So, we can change our code and make it a lot better.
So, you said about game making other games in progress. How far along is this project? How far along is the Painter's Apprentice? When do you estimate the release?
I mean, I think we'll be done midway through next year, depending on when we actually get greenlit. Then it'll be available. Hopefully, we'll actually get greenlit before that, rather than after.
Come on,
so that. What's that?
Definitely, come on, really. I mean,
Well, I think with MagFest
two more weeks.
and 2 more weeks. Hopefully, with like MagFest and PAX South, we'll get greenlit. There'll be a lot of people around. But yeah, so we're working on it. Still doing level designs, working on AI, fixing bugs along the way, and then looking into adding some new features just to kind of change it up a little bit.
Like new features, can you tease anything? A way to block. A way to block.
Yeah, that was actually one of the things that our guy down in Florida, he went to the Orlando IX. It was one of the things that some of the people who played it mentioned. So we're looking into, what can we do to have players be able to block the paintballs that some of the enemies shoot? How will it work? And then, maybe use the paint meter for something else besides just the paintball and the rainbow attack. And then changing up the rainbow attack, actually. I don't think it's working in the demo right now, but looking at ways that we can actually make it a lot more powerful. The character does not
have a name. Okay, so you read that.
He does not have a name.
He's like Gordon Freeman. That's why I mentioned Half-Life 3, because
he is just the apprentice. You can name him whatever you want. John.
Well, if you finish the game, just think about it. If you finish the game, then the apprentice has went through his master's challenge, right? Mm-hmm. So he's becoming a painter himself, so he can make a name for himself. He should have a name then. Kind of.
Well, maybe at the end.
John Smith. Something French, maybe.
Something French.
Jacques. Yeah, something French. Yeah, something. What's the most common French name? Francois something maybe? Jacques Francois, something like that. Jacques? Something crazy like that, probably.
Francois Jacques.
Yeah, exactly. Like something
it all together.
Super. Yeah, Pierre. Pretty much a John Doe for him. Oh yeah, Pierre actually. Yeah. So you can name him like that. He's from the unknown painter. He becomes the quasi unknown painter.
Apprentice.
He'll take up. See, that's the story for the Painter's Apprentice too. You become the master, and you go to find your own apprentice, and you have to go around the world and find someone who can actually hold a brush in their hands without screwing everything up. That's brainstorming right there. Please don't use that. It's gonna be crap. Jean-Luc Smith, Jesus, yeah. With this title, you are because I'm playing on the PC. You're definitely aiming for the PC, right? This is the initial platform. Let's say the master platform.
The master.
Just the PC master is. We have to give credit to. I was reading like an article. Well, I wasn't reading. I just saw the title and read a little bit about the PlayStation 4 Pro, not having to buy a gaming PC because of the PlayStation Pro. And I was thinking, really? Have you used PCs ever? Of course, if you only game, I guess so. But it's like, here's something that can do one thing, and here's something that can do a whole lot of things. It's more expensive, but can do a whole lot of things. What would you choose? Well, for me, that's how I see it. Anyway, but that's. So PC, definitely. Windows, Mac OS, and Linux?
Yep.
Okay, all three. And so wait, all three upon at the same time? Are you thinking of all three platforms at the same time?
I mean, we might do Linux later, but obviously, I think Mac and PC, that's pretty easy. Unity has a pretty good export ability. And then we will be on mobile. And then we are looking at, well, we'll see. We would love to be on consoles. I think this game would be a lot of fun on the DS. And I think it'd be a lot of fun on the, I've never actually even played the Switch just based on the commercials. I think it could work.
Nobody played the Switch. Like,
what's that?
Nobody didn't play the Switch. Like, it's...
Yeah, no. But like based on the commercials,
yeah.
I think it would be fun. But I mean, there's also obviously like Xbox, since you can use an Xbox, 360 controller with it. So I mean, it really depends on a lot of things, right? So especially with the consoles, that takes money for the dev kit, and then you also, I know for Xbox, you have to get accepted into like the program. So it's really all dependent.
Just check your mailing list under S, Spencer, P, Phil. No, he's not there.
I wish.
You can tweet him, I guess, and he'll be fine. Okay, so
this game will not be free. So when we release, it'll be. We're still debating the price actually, so I don't want to say anything. And then, yes, we are done with the art. We're actually still, we're still tweaking it, the animations and such. So there'll probably be some changes later on.
So wait, you're saying that the pricing may change? Does that mean that people who
not change, but we don't. But I mean, we're probably going to be releasing, like, our initial goal is somewhere around $5.99 when we first release. So we're debating like, can we do like $6.99? Can we do $7?
Yeah.
How far up?
Yeah,
because
I'm thinking,
even on Steam, there's this just like mobile. I think there's this, I don't want to pay full price for a game kind of thing. So
yeah, but depending on what you see by full price, I mean, if the game is fun, worth it, and it's enough content, I think most people would agree, to pay. I'm sure, people won't look at, because it's true, like, this isn't anything to, shy away from. Nobody's going to look at the Painter's Apprentice and say like, oh, $60. Obviously not. But
yes,
if you offer, if the gameplay is solid, I think pretty solid at this point in time. With more levels, more stuff, more of everything, then you could say, okay, so this game is going to be fun, and it looks good, and it sounds good, and it has, let's say, 6-7 hours of just off the top of my head, 6-7 hours worth of gameplay, then yeah, I think it would be worth X amount. I mean, I don't think a lot of people would say like, oh, I just want it super cheap or free. Because it's not a mobile game. If it's released on PC first, you can't. I mean, people can say whatever the hell they want, but at the end of the day, the Painter's Apprentice will be released first on PC, so you can't say it's a mobile port or a mobile game.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it comes out
and that was another thing too. We we're like, oh, do we release it at the same time? And we're like, there's so much hate for games on mobile if they come to PC, even if it's at the same time. We're like, let's release the mobile one later. Let's do PC first, and then put it on mobile, and then we can say, hey, it's a PC port. But at least the people on PC won't see that it's a mobile game and then be like, oh, well, this is a shit game, which is pardon my language, but
it's free speech. This is a free speech zone, unlike most of the Western world, or any college campus in North America at least, and probably the UK and other stuff. Not here, because it's fine. We're communists here. It's fine. We've dealt with that already. No, but they're thinking that people would be pissed off if sorry.
I was gonna say like the initial, so our initial one was doing it probably like $5.99, and then I mean there's always discounts you can do, like oh yeah, holiday discount, whatever. But we'll see. I mean I feel like $5.99 is already a relatively low price, so.
Painter's Day discount. When's Painter's Day? Is there like a Painter's Day, like
There
an international
is, like,
Painter's Day?
there's an international art day.
Okay, that could work.
Yeah. I forget what day it is. I think it's, I want to say it's in the summertime. But yeah,
It's a Tuesday, probably.
probably. It's whenever. They change the day. They're like, July.
Yeah,
I don't know.
these artsy types, they don't care about,
I thought it was
like,
September last
conventions
year.
and stuff.
Whatever.
Well,
But
they
yeah.
can change that, that's No, I was
I mean,
saying
there's a World Art Day. There's like a, I think there's something with artists. Yeah, there's a lot of things.
that you can play around. Well, Steam sales, whatever sales. Yeah, $5.99 seems like, like a decent price at least. You can say it's decent. I don't think that anyone can look at this and people might say like not so good if if it would come out on mobile at the same time. It would be free with ads, for example, because I've seen certain games like that come out on PC and on mobile, and they're like, the PC version is like $15, $14.99.
Right.
The mobile one is $4.99. What? Wait. I mean, sure, different stuff, like more work for testing and the controls and everything, but really, 3 times the price, really? And that's something that would obviously piss people off. But if it's done right, and if it's done right, few people would bitch. Complain.
Yeah.
It's like we have to. Going a little bit, off the reservation of the. Oh, actually, wait. You know what? No, because I was just thinking this earlier and it slipped my mind. So, it's a game about you being in paintings. It has backgrounds that are painted by an actual artist. It has an encyclopedia that I'm guessing you can unlock information about the art styles, right? Something like that.
Well, so the encyclopedia that you unlock is based on the paintings you collect. So it'll talk a little bit about the painting and then the artist. So you'll learn a little bit about, hey, who is this Monet guy, or why did he paint, the garden thing or whatever.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like. Who's this? Yeah, it's like.
I think he was,
Rambo?
I think
Rambo. Yeah.
I think he was more of a cricket player, Monet.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, yeah. No, because I was thinking like all of this kind of. I don't know if you've maybe considered it. It kind of looks like the Painter and Apprentice is a very educational title. Like, would you think of, I don't know, making it available, or I don't know, maybe pitching it to schools or any learning institution, about you just play this, it's fun, it's for children too. It's not. Well, you can maybe dumb it down a little bit, or have it only, and say you learn something about art style, and you also have fun.
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely looked into it. And then it's something that we're, working on. Most of it is kind of, we really just want to get, we want to get all our ducks in the row before we start pitching the game to people, just so that they can see that, people are interested in it as well. So kind of like, hey, the Kickstarter was the first goal. It's like, show that people are interested in funding this game. It was a small goal, but whatever. And then the next part is getting on green light.
So.
Yeah, and then once we get that, we can be like, hey, here's this game that we have. People are already interested in it. We are going to be on this system, and then we would love you to check it out, and potentially, because when they're looking at even educational institutions, when they're looking at, who do we bring on as a partner, or who do we show, they want to see that can you deliver the product, right? And can you hold to your promises? And what are other people saying about the game? Is it a positive feedback and not? So we kind of need to get all these things. And obviously, too, like, I think being selected for MagFest again this year, being selected to go to PAX South is also huge for us. Again, like, just kind of legitimizing our company. And it's just another thing that we can say, hey, people like our game, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, if people want to see it, you know, I don't know if you, well, I'm guessing the award shows, I don't know, those really count. I was just thinking, like, would you invite? Like, probably not, because it's like only AAA titles and like all, you know, big wigs and stuff. At the
for like the indie game festival or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can submit, but I don't.
Cost money, probably.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't cost that much. But yeah, it costs money, and then also, I kind of want to get some more games out there before I submit, so that at least we have a body of work, and you know, we can show, hey, here's people, and then hopefully the people who have been interested in our previous games will also be interested in whatever upcoming game. So it makes it, you know, a little bit more viable. At least in their eyes. And it gives us more experience too. I mean, again, this is our second game, so, you know, there's going to be some, you know, issues. There's going to be some things that maybe people don't like. We're still learning as well. So, you know, once we get a couple more games under our belt, maybe we'll have the process down. We'll know what we want to do. For the next games, the development process will be a little faster. And yeah, we'll just start. The quality of the games that we release will be even better. Not that this is a low quality game. It's definitely better than our first game, but each time you make a new game, it's always better than the last, you know?
So I'm guessing, you know, I'll just ask, because, you know, yeah, because, yeah, why not? I mean, why not? As in, I'm interested, so that's why. Do you already have an idea of your next project?
Yes.
Okay, and will it be? Of course, you know, I'm not going to say, oh, what's the name? What's it going to be? No, also PC or mobile this time.
So we are probably going to be mobile for this next game, just because it was always. I actually designed it a long time ago and designed it for mobile, not PC. So we'll probably stick with. It could be for PC too. It really depends on how it all shakes out. Right now, it's just going to be for mobile, and we've already got another game that's kind of brewing in the background. So we want to we want to start kind of speeding up our development process. It's hard just because, you know, all of us are kind of doing the Painter's Apprentice and everything else kind of as our, it's basically a side project. So, you know, we've all got day jobs or school or whatever else. So, you know, it's a little harder, I think, that way. But I think once we can bring on maybe some more people or really smooth out and hammer out all the details on here's what everything's going to do. We can move people over, start somebody on a prototype. I think it'll go a lot faster.
I'm thinking that, like, with this project, do you feel like it went on a bit longer than expected, like from the initial estimate, let's say? Because 2 years,
you know,
is
I didn't
quite a bit for any project.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even have a initial estimate of when it would be done. I learned that from my first project, just because you never know what's going to happen. Again, like, this is everybody's side project, so whatever what's going on in their life takes precedence. So, you know, it's whatever, school, so midterms, or finals, or whatever.
3D Realms thing, when it's done.
Yeah, exactly. When it's done, it's done. Would I have liked it to come out a little sooner? Yes. But I think, you know, if you look at the amount of time that we've all spent on it, I mean, I think some people have spent, I mean, I don't actually track the hours, so maybe I'm totally wrong. But I think if you actually do all the hours combined that people have worked on it, it's probably been more like, I don't know, a year or less, with like, if you're considering full-time work, 40 hours a week. So we're just splitting it up into smaller chunks of time a week. So I would love to have it where we can, you know, all do this full time. But right now, do it in our spare time. It's still moving forward, which is really the main thing. And I think just seeing progress every week is what's really important here, is get something done every week. Whether you put in an hour, 5 hours, whatever. We just need to have forward momentum, you know? Because once the project stalls, it's really hard to kind of get back on track.
Yeah, that's well, hopefully that's not going to be the case, because you just said that's a commitment. That's like a binding. That's a legally binding thing. It's like what, middle of next year? Middle of next year. So yeah, I'd like actually I have your Skype. So I'm going to ask, like, in 6 months from now, 7 months from now, I'll be like, hey, like,
It's done?
Like, okay, like, yeah, exactly. Are we there yet? Like, oh Jesus.
What's going on? Is
yeah,
it done? Come on.
Like, come on, you're finishing 2 more projects, like, but come on, just finish it. No, but you know, let's go a little bit, you know, away from this specific project. Tell me a few of the games that you play while, you know, while not working on the Apprentice. What else do you play?
So I play World of Warcraft. That's mostly the main one that I play. And then I actually got into was it last month? I played Recettear, which was actually a lot of fun. Which is like an RPG, but you play as a little girl who sells stuff in her item shop and kind of price gouges people, but all about capitalism. And then I've still got like a bunch of other games that I need to hop on. Like I got Life is Strange. I still haven't played it.
Yeah, everybody's saying about it. I don't know, like, Life is Strange,
Yeah.
Strange, really? Okay, just chillax with it. I think it's the episodic one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then a story about my uncle I keep picking up and putting down, so I need to finish that. But yeah, I mean, I try not to get too many games just because I want to finish it before I move on to something else. And I've been doing some like visual novels, which are, you know, those are nice and quick. I can just click through them for the most part.
Okay, so for the real like hardcore question right now, well, which is so stupid to say because it's not probably Legion. Good, bad.
Yeah. I mean, there are parts that are good.
That's the answer right there. It's like, I mean, yeah, that's the answer. No? I mean,
there are parts that are good. So I like the world quests. I like the Suramar quest line. I kind of feel that the expansion is so small. It's just like a tiny island, and they cram so much in there. And there's so many other things going on. There's like the Night Elves and the Nightmare, and then there's, you know, the Valyahar, and then there's like all these other things that are going on that don't like really connect. Yeah, it's you get to like Suramar, and like the quest lines are really interesting. The world is kind of cool, and I feel like this is the main thing that they should have just focused on, you know, expanding this these group of I forget what they were called, elves who are hooked on you know, crack juice or whatever. So yeah, I thought that
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean,
somebody
you know,
at Blizzard is like it's like having a heart attack right now. Elf juice? What? Somebody said elf juice? Like, okay.
But I mean, they're addicts, right? They're like junkies, right? They're like scratching themselves, and they need their next hit. You got to provide them with that. You got to go around and, you know, gather the goods and give it to them, and every day. So give them give other people's like small hits of the product for free, and yeah, I mean, this is how you build an empire, right?
Well, yeah, if you're Tony Montana, I guess, like that's kind of the thing. Okay, so well, you know what, World of Warcraft, so I guess pretty much 90% of your time is like World of Warcraft, because I pretty much I've known people like World of Warcraft is life. It's life. And you know what? With Legion, you say that it's small. It feels small, or they kind of had to rush it out. So it's like, oh, subscriber numbers are falling. Let's take something out. I don't think they put in as much work in Legion as they put in other expansions. Probably. That's what I think. In terms of man hours, I don't think they have put this because of time constraints, not anything else. It's like we have to have something. We have to have something like in next year, so we can do. Okay, let's Legion. That's.
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of felt that way throughout Draenor, that they were just kind of putting a lot less time and effort into it. That's probably because they were working on Overwatch. And I'm guessing that's where a lot of their time is going now too, just in general, is just, building up this new IP and hyping it up and working on the new characters and fixing bugs or whatever. And, Warcraft has kind of fallen to the wayside in that sense. And I mean, there's still like a bunch of bugs in there and old raids and like all this other stuff. I'm like, come on, guys, like this has been out for like, I don't know, 12 years or longer, right? Yeah, I think it was 12. It was just their 12-year anniversary the other day. Yeah, 12. But, I get that like some bugs can't be fixed. Or maybe if you do, like, is incorporated with so many other stuff, you can't untangle it without having to rewrite basically so much. So, but I don't know. I don't know if it was, maybe, yes, it was rushed out, but they usually do it every 2 years for the expansion. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like some parts, and they're building up a new patch that we're actually going to go to like the Demon World for, the Legion's world, or at least one of their base planets. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. I mean, it's something to do. It doesn't require that much.
It's something to do for 1,200 hours.
Well, I don't actually play for that long, so I get like bored after a while, because it's the same thing over and over. So I try to do it in more of like a couple hours here and there. Try to gear up. And then, I think a lot of people spend time on their professions and then raiding, but I mostly just do it. I like to progress the storyline and see what else is gonna happen, but yeah, I get kind of tired. I'm a healer, so it gets kind of boring after a while.
So
I tend to zone out.
About the storyline for you than the actual gameplay then.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a huge fan of RPGs, just for the story. So I think that's what kind of drew me into World of Warcraft. I actually played, maybe, when was it? Maybe once, what's it called? The Burning Legion. I think when that came out, I played during that time, and then I got bored of it. And then it wasn't until much later on, like, I don't know, within the last couple of years, that I kind of got back into it. Things have changed a lot, obviously. I think for the better. I know a lot of people complain about, oh, it's so easy, it's for the casuals. In vanilla, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, I mean, I played in Legion. I don't remember how much that sucked.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like,
or Burning Legion.
You look at people,
Burning Crusade, that's what it was.
Yeah, Burning Crusade. You do realize that this is a game. Like, I think games are an amazing art form. Even more than art, because I've read some. They're incredible in what they can, make. They can take you places. They can make you feel things. That's amazing. At the end of the day, they're still games. So it's like if you go way too much into it, I think you kind of lose sight of what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to feel entitled by playing a game on hardcore. You're not supposed to. That's what I mean. You're supposed to have fun. You're supposed to have experiences that you would never like with Dark Souls or anything. You know, it's like, oh, you have to get good. You know what? I just want to have fun. I want to have something that's when it gets to that level. It's like, dude, you're playing a game. You're not a freaking competitive player that makes money of it. So just get off your high horse and just freaking enjoy the game. It's not that
just relax, man. Just relax.
Exactly. I mean, not minimizing games. You know, I really don't want to do that. It's like, oh, it's just games. No, at the end of the day, it's still a game. And games are not supposed to, you know, take you. You're not the king of France. That's, you know, because you play a game. You know, you're not a better human being because you play vanilla Warcraft. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just you just have fun. Whatever you like, that's have fun. But don't you know, belittle people who don't specifically enjoy the same thing as you enjoy. You know, I think it's basic sense, you know, common sense to just enjoy and, you know.
I mean, it's supposed to be fun, right? It's like the whole point of games is for entertainment and to be fun. And yes, there can be some deep moments, and you know, you can enjoy whatever it is. But yeah, it's kind of like, you know, people who get all riled up about movies or things like that. It's like, dude, it's just a movie, you know. This isn't like personally affecting you.
I mean, if you had something invested in it. You know,
like if you put money into it, or you're the actor or the director or whatever, then yes, it's like, well, you suck, man. How could you say that? But
yes, and I want everyone to know that Cryptic Hybrid's position here is that Ghostbusters, the reboot, was phenomenal. Okay, I just want to say that. So
I never watched it.
I'm joking. I didn't watch it either. I don't care for it. Like, it's like, okay, I saw the trailer, like, oh, alright, the movie, wow, great, amazing. It's just like, sure, why not? I don't really watch movies anymore that much. It's like, what should I do now? Watch movies for 2 hours? Because I don't even have the patience. I don't even have the patience for games. Anyway, so tell me, are you looking forward for any game that's, you know, being teased or made right now?
I mean, honestly, I don't even have like the newest consoles or anything, so I can't really say that I have been keeping up with, you know, recent gaming news. I pretty much just look things up and, you know, like, oh, this sounds interesting, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, I mean, I haven't really been keeping up with gaming news, like video game news in particular. It's mostly about the consoles, or what else do I read? I mean, it's like technology things, and obviously game development articles and all of that good stuff.
Technology things, okay. What's your thought of AMD Zen? Like, do you want to buy one? And I'm not joking.
The graphics card? What are you talking about? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
It's a processor, Zen. It's a processor. Fine.
What?
No, if you don't know it, if you don't know it, it's fine. I was just thinking like, okay, let's talk hardware. Like.
Oh, I mean,
Zen,
like processors and things. It's mostly like.
Yeah.
I was mostly so like the thing that I was looking at was like obviously the video card from NVIDIA, right? Like the newest GeForce, which maybe, but yeah, I mean, like
Apple's way of looking at things, like that. The newest GeForce, really? They're like quite a few. Like,
oh, you know, there's a 1060, there's a 1070, there's a 1080.
Yeah,
so
that's basically it. Yes, actually, that is too. That's basically one is better than the other. Great.
Yeah.
Hooray! They're so expensive. Yay! So nice.
Yeah.
There's no competition there.
Well, from what a lot of people have been saying is that like it is a huge improvement over even the 960. So it makes sense to probably get the latest one. But I honestly don't know if my computer can if I even have the right slot for it in my computer. Actually.
Well, when you make the Painter's Apprentice in Unreal Engine 4, I mean, you kind of have to, no? No, that's not the
Yeah,
plan.
with the physics and stuff. I mean,
Yeah, obvious. Yes, physics and VR. Oh, you have to have VR in the next one. Yeah, like everyone has VR. It's like the shittiest games out there. The games who like games who had stretch goals like VR 2 years ago, and I was thinking, really, you have a stretch goal on Kickstarter for VR? Like, how many people have VR? So that's a freaking stretch goal. That seems amazing to me. How people cling onto this new thing. It's cool, I guess, sure, but it's like, don't you want to sell shit? Like, don't you want to sell your game? So don't you want to go for the biggest market possible? And you're targeting VR? As a side project, sure. But as a really like VR, is that important to you? VR? That really baffles me.
Yeah, I mean,
how many
I
people
think,
are like so excited about it and like, yeah, let's make stuff for VR. Really? How many people buy VR games? Just really, how many people have?
I mean,
What's
I
the
think people
install
are.
base?
I
It's
think
not
people.
even.
I think they're really hoping to for it to be bigger. I mean, the problem I have with VR is that it's so fragmented right now, right? You've got like HTC Vive, you've got the Oculus, now you have the Sony VR,
Yeah.
and it's just so much
Well, you have
hardware you
all
got to
sorts
worry
of,
about. It's like I can't use my HTC Vive on my, PlayStation, right? Which sucks. I
No,
can't
yeah.
use, like not only do I have to have a good graphics card and a good processor, now I also have to buy this individual headpiece if I want to do VR. And then if
And
I
you
want
need
to
the
do
room.
PlayStation VR, I need another individual headpiece. Like it's so much money that it's hard to, really justify
Mm.
kind of, buying it.
Yeah, because you
I
look at
think,
the games like, what do you have now? Oh, it's a simulator where you climb Mount Everest. Oh, all right, was amazing. Like that's it's not a walking simulator, it's a climbing simulator. Like if like, it's incredible. I mean, who wouldn't want to pay $600 for a headset to have that?
yeah, it's so much. And then now you've got like this mobile, there's like Samsung, excuse me. Here we go. There's like Samsung, and then you've got like, Google Cardboard, got all this stuff. It's, I don't know. I think at some point there's going to have to be some kind of, one of these things aren't going to make it. I feel like one of these companies are not going to make it. So hopefully it'll be more of, consistent hardware. So I can use my VR headset for my PlayStation and my Xbox and my PC.
Yeah, I'm
But
going to make a
otherwise,
guess
I
that
mean,
HTC won't make it.
HTC won't make
Just
it.
won't make it. You know, like it's so funny. They've been losing money for like, let's see, 47 out of the last 49 quarters. Kind of like that. It's something crazy like that. And like, where the hell do you have the money for this? Like, they're not selling phones. Where the hell do they still have money? It's amazing to me. It's incredible. But yeah, it's, well, of course, the HTC Vive is pretty much just all Valve, technology. So they're just making.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean,
It's incredible. It's like,
I
you
haven't
should
used the
fail. This company should fail.
Oculus, but I've used the HTC Vive, and that was actually really nice. But from what I've heard, like the Oculus has actually gotten a lot better because for I think one of the, like, I didn't do it one time because somebody else was using it, and there was just so much like delay and lag when he was turning his head. And I'm assuming that got a lot better with the latest headsets. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like the idea of VR. I actually like the idea of AR a little better. I think that's probably where it's at, to be honest.
Well, that's a ringing doorbell. It's where it's AR. It's where it's at.
Yeah.
That's a commercial right there. Well, it kind of is. It's kind of something like, I don't, just talk to Microsoft. Someone in Microsoft, they'll have. Actually, you know what? Probably
HoloLens.
not.
Yeah,
No.
I've been wanting to play around with that.
Yeah,
It's so
I
expensive
don't know
though.
what
For
the
like a
hell they're
dev
doing.
kit, it's a couple thousand for a headset, for like a dev kit.
Yeah, I don't think that they're going to do all. I mean, hardware-wise, I don't think they're going to do all. I'm not sure. The way Microsoft is going with services and stuff, I'm not sure any hardware thing is safe there. And like technology-wise, sure. Like SDK and whatever, but in terms of the actual hardware, I wouldn't put my money into Microsoft made products. Even Surface stuff. It's like, yeah, with Satya there, he doesn't give a crap.
I think they have good ideas, but like the Surface was a really good idea, and I think they were the first ones on the scene to do this hybrid, tablet computer thing. And they're still the leaders in it. Like no one else really gets too close.
They made a really good one, that's for sure. I'm sure
there's still some serious problems with the Surface. Like, I think a lot of I think they fixed the keyboard a little bit, but
Gotta fix the price too. I think it's I don't know. It's like way too much for something that's. It's like it's not the best of both worlds. It's like a bad hybrid, which isn't if you want to combine something, make it that it replaces both things that you combine, not make it less of either thing. So that's I don't know. It's super expensive, and I mean it's fun.
It doesn't even come bundled with like the keyboard, right? You have to buy the keyboard separately.
That's like
which is ridiculous.
So, because it's most people I think would buy the keyboard. I don't think anyone would just like get the Surface, just the Surface.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna advertise it as a hybrid, you should offer it with the keyboard.
Just like a bundle. Make it a bundle. We've gone way off topic. So I say let's end it here. Like suicide. Sorry, no, not like that. We're not going to end it like that. If you want to say a few last words, what do you have to say for yourself?
Sure. So again, I'm just gonna pimp my wares here. We're on Steam Greenlight, so please vote us up. You can get the link in the description. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Twitch. Twitch and Facebook is Luminosity Mobile. Twitter is Luminosity LLC. Apparently, Luminosity Mobile is too long to have as the name for Twitter. Yeah, too long. Couldn't fit it all.
Did you get verified? Did you get verified? Is it the verified?
No, I'm not verified. No, so you don't even know if it's real or not. But yeah, so you can follow us there. And yeah, I mean, you can, shoot us any questions or comments on our Twitter or Facebook page. We generally respond relatively quickly. And if you are going to PAX South, then we'll be there for MagFest, which is in Baltimore. I don't know where all you guys live, but we'll be going to lots of other events too. So let us know if you want to. We'll see if we can make it. What's that?
Are you thinking of adding or offering maybe like a widget, something that people can pre-order the game, or are you waiting for Steam?
We're just waiting for Steam. Although we'll see how it goes.
Like Humble Bundle? No, Humble Bundle, like a Humble Store widget. I mean, technically you could sell if you pre-order. I guess they have pre-orders.
I don't know. I haven't actually really looked into it, to be honest.
I think you can. Well, I think you can make a widget, for pre-orders. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's complicated stuff. Thanks for coming, everyone. Go check out the Painter's Apprentice. Download the demo, play it yourself. Because you know what, you see me playing. I'm a professional by now. I just take a stroke and no, I'm kidding. But I played quite a bit of it. I think I played. I don't know. I don't have a half a dozen hours, but probably 4 hours I have between everything. So I'm pretty good. I only die 20 times in an hour, and actually 2 hours now. 20 to 25 times. Actually, that's a record for me. Usually I die 100 plus. So play it yourself. It's available. It's available for Windows. It's pretty beefy, the demo, so you can definitely explore quite a bit of the worlds and of the game and of the mechanics, and it's not everything. It's just like a small slice, but it's a pretty big slice for a small slice. That's That's
Yeah, there's a
right
lot of
there.
content on here.
It is, yeah. The demo is
There's a lot
pretty
of
beefy.
content.
That's for sure. And if you like it, and hopefully you will, give it a vote yes on Steam Greenlight. Is this even ending by? Yes, it's ending. Yes, we are ending here. And hopefully, when the Painter's Apprentice comes out, I don't know, maybe Jasmine will agree to come on another interview.
Yeah, for sure. We can just chat.
That was a very non-committal answer. Just thank you for that. It's about the okay, all right. See, and we didn't even talk about the cats. Okay, that's.
Oh, they were pretty quiet,
I mean,
actually.
Wait.
They were
There's
well
more than one.
Yeah, we have two. There's two cats.
Oh, okay. Male or female?
One female, one male.
Really interesting. My first thought it would be like both male. I don't know. Everywhere I go and like I see people with cats, they have males. I don't know. I have to. Well, I have to do a study on this. How many male cats are compared to female cats? You know, as pets. Because from my observation, like there's a lot of male cats as pets, not as much female. Interesting. That's.
I don't know.
No, but they did behave, so that was very nice. So that's thank you cats. It's just like they don't like me. They don't like me already. So thanks for coming, everyone. Go check out the Painter's Apprentice, Luminosity LLC on Twitter, Luminosity Mobile on Facebook. Also Luminosity Mobile, right, on Twitch.
Yep, that's correct.
And that's about it for us. Have a lovely Saturday. If you like this live stream or this developer interview, it's like better, or any other content that I put on the channel, like for example other developer interviews, because we've had quite a few since starting, or actual live streams with just me talking to myself, or gameplay videos, walkthroughs even, then please click on the subscribe button, subscribe to Cryptic Hybrid for more, and tell your friends, even if they're cats, because sharing is caring. The cats though will not share. That's probably what's going to happen. Cats don't share. They're not very share type of, you know, they don't do that. Dogs, yes, dogs share. The dogs would share, but cats not so much. They're not like ponies. They hate ponies. Yes, you heard it here. Cats hate ponies, and ponies are adorable. Thanks again everyone for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Jasmine, thank you, and have an amazing Saturday.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good day, guys. Bye.